Welcome back to the 128KB podcast. We are back once again.
Yes.
Due to lack of popular demand.
As always.
This is your weekly dose of all things gaming with him.
With Andy here, and AJ over there, because I believe people get us confused. Yes.
People get us confused.
Yes.
They also, some people call you Alex.
They do, yeah. Some people do, yeah.
I'm looking at you. You know who you are in the Discord for members. And some people get us confused in age as well, because they obviously think I'm the younger one.
Yes.
I think it's my churlish charm and boyish good looks.
It's the scraggly beard I've got. If I shave off the Gandalf, then I look about 10 years old.
Gandalf. So this week, what I wanted to chat about for you all and just join in the conversation is why Xbox doesn't sell.
Yes. Yeah.
Why do they suck so bad at selling consoles?
It's so weird.
Specifically, the past two generations.
Yes.
Because it wasn't always the case.
No, that's not true. And you know why?
Why?
Reasons.
So before we film these, we go each week we'll write down different ideas and we'll come to filming and go, I've got these ideas.
Yep.
And I was like, I've got this one about Xbox not selling as well as the other consoles, and why is that? And Andy said, I don't know if I've got anything to really talk about that. And then listed off like 5 reasons. I was like, oh no, all you've got to talk about is the reasons.
So today we're here with reasons.
So I don't know what I'm going to say about this, apart from this and that and this and that. Yeah.
Those are the reasons.
That's actually just the reason.
Yeah, that's true.
So Xbox doesn't sell for reasons. Yes, so Xbox Series S/X.
Yes.
Which I think in of itself is one of the problems.
Yes.
Has sold dramatically less than other consoles in the same generation. Sadly, because there's a lot to offer. I've got some numbers.
Yeah.
To put this whole thing into context, I've got some facts for these reasons. So the Xbox Series S and X combined sales, this is the end of 2023, so we've missed January, February. These numbers you always see quoted on the internet and stuff, they're always delayed massively. Sales figures take ages to come through.
Yeah.
Console sales for the X and S combined is 27 million units.
That's mad, isn't it?
Which sounds like a lot.
Yes, but
when you know the other numbers.
Exactly.
So PS5 sales for same time period up to the end of December 23, 50 million units.
So basically double.
And they've only got one console. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch, it's an unfair comparison.
Oh, yes.
140 million units. I think it's now the third best-selling console of all time, very rapidly approaching the top 2.
Yep.
Which is the DS and the PS2.
Yeah.
To give context to Xbox's 27 million units, the Oculus Quest 2 sold 20 million.
That's sad, isn't it? The Facebook machine.
Hell? Yeah, I mean, what? So niche, and it sold almost as much as the current generation Xbox. And I was going to say it's not always been the case, because in those numbers that I've written down, we have the Xbox 360, which is the last best-selling Xbox.
I was going to say that was the best-selling.
84 million units.
Do you know how many were sold of the original Xbox?
I was going to write it down, but it was irrelevant.
Yeah.
A few.
And just to pick you apart here with your really prepared numbers.
Yes.
Do you know what the difference is between the S and the X?
No, I don't. They don't announce it.
They don't tell.
No.
So I know that the S far exceeds the sales of the X, as you would expect. It's the cheapest system.
Half the price, man.
Exactly. And again, like you said, is possibly part of the problem.
Yeah, so they had... The problem started with Xbox. Obviously, the 360 did really, really, really well.
Really well,
One of the best selling.
Yeah.
Xbox One flopped.
Yeah, because they were targeting like it as a home media device rather than a game console.
Yes.
It was like, look at what it can do. It's a DVD player, Blu-ray player. It's also like your streaming services and all this other rubbish. They were like trying to tout it as an entertainment center rather than what it should have been, which is just tout it as a games console that has those features and they're just there. Don't worry about it.
A machine for playing games on.
Yes.
It's a gaming computer.
Yeah.
So the 360, over 80 million units sold, was a huge success. Xbox One was the beginning of their problems. And I think the first problem is how they message things, their marketing.
Yeah.
It just isn't up to scratch. PlayStation's message, rightly or wrong way, wrongly.
Yeah.
Talking words.
I'm rubbing off on AJ over here.
Hopefully not.
Well, maybe off camera, but I'm the one that normally can't speak.
Yeah. Rightly or wrongly, PlayStation's messaging is very strong and very clear.
Yes, and it always has been consistent.
For the players, man.
For the players, yeah. It's like EA games,
Yes.
It's
in the game.
It's in the game. You always know these taglines, and Sony and PlayStation are very...
very strong,
very strong clear. And clear on what they're trying to push.
Nintendo's messaging, it's not the same kind of quippy catchphrases, but it's bang on who they're aiming at, and they get it right.
You
They've
always
got
know.
it absolutely right. Nintendo's messaging is strong and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft lost their way in the last generation and are struggling to navigate who they're pointing at now. Are they aiming at PlayStation players? Are they aiming at PC players?
Yeah.
Are they aiming at those more casual players that are more oriented towards the Switch? Who are we aiming at? And because of that, they don't find their niche and appeal to it as strongly as the others do.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. They've kind of flitted around and kind of tried to dabble in different areas rather than picking one and just going gung-ho on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like we've said, PlayStation are very much, bam, we're here.
Yeah.
PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know what I mean? It's really obvious. It's very easy.
Even the naming.
The naming alone is a big thing. I know Nintendo are very weird with theirs.
Yeah.
They kind of get away with it. Nintendo are very much like this.
Yeah.
They have a really big hit, then a fail, and then a big hit, then a fail. And hopefully the Switch successor is not a fail. I'm sure it won't be. But they are very much up and down, mainly because the name systems are really weird.
Yes.
And the marketing sometimes fails behind that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case with Xbox. PlayStation are always steadfast. Every single system does well.
Yes.
It's really obvious what it is.
Yeah.
Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't go wrong,
No
can
messing.
you? No messing around. Whereas the Xbox, it's very weird. Xbox 360, right? Why is it doing a 360?
Okay, 360.
Yeah, you're going to do a kickflip on it.
So the next one's going to be 720 then?
Yeah, exactly. No, we're going to call it the number 1.
Oh.
But this is the third one.
Yeah, but it's Xbox One.
Yeah, but it's the one. Okay.
And we're going to release 2 models of it.
We'll do that, yeah. And now we're going to do the series. But aren't you already making a series of these Xboxes?
Isn't all of them a series?
No. You've got the Series S and the X.
And if before I was in the Xbox ecosystem myself, when I was looking at it from outside in, and we dismissed it for a long time.
For a long time, yeah.
I wasn't even entirely sure of the difference between the S and the X.
It's confusing.
It is.
It is
if
confusing.
you're not in it, it's confusing.
Yeah. You don't know, like when you're not in it, when you're looking because I mean, you've always been a heavy PlayStation fan.
Yeah.
I've been a very heavy like Nintendo and PC fan.
Yeah.
Looking into it, I was like, is one just like without a disc drive?
Yeah.
Is one like digital only?
Is that just the difference? Or can only some games play on X?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I don't understand. Is the X like the backwards compatible machine?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't really understand what's going on here. And I didn't even realize there was a power difference.
No.
For a while.
No.
I was like, this is strange. I genuinely thought it was just like a disc drive thing. You know, kind of like what PlayStation did, but just with a weird naming system.
Yeah.
It's only a bit later that I realized, oh, actually, they're different prices.
Yeah.
and one's offering like less, but trying to offer the same. Do you know what I mean? It's all very confusing.
And that confusing thing continues when you get into actually having it.
Yes.
I like the idea of there being a lesser version in some ways.
I do.
Cool. It's accessible.
Yeah, I do.
But the problem is if every game is available on both systems, that means the people playing the S are getting a much lesser experience.
Of course, yeah.
And it also means that people getting the X are getting a slightly lesser experience than they otherwise would if the game didn't have to be compatible with the S.
With the S as well, because all that development time could be put into making it perfect.
Push
for
the bleeding edge a bit more of what's capable because we don't have to worry about this lesser computer.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. And you've got to think of it as well from a parental point of view.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because the majority of sales, I would say, are probably from parents or family members for maybe a younger audience or whatever age. And imagine being a parent that maybe not be clued up on gaming, walking into a game shop saying, so I've heard about this Xbox thing. What is it? Well, do you want the S or the X? What's the difference? Well, you got the smaller one, bit cheaper, bit rubbish, or the big one, bit better. I don't know, how many PlayStations are there? We're on to number 5 now. Yeah, well, I'll just have that one. It's easier.
Yeah.
You know, less headache. You don't have to worry. You're being confused. Do all games are on this?
Yeah.
But so I buy the S. Can I buy that game over there? No, sorry, it's digital only. What's that mean?
What do you mean?
It means that you can only buy them on the internet. You have to put your credit card details online.
Oh, I don't like the idea of Jimmy having the credit card details.
Yeah, exactly. It's confusing, isn't it, to a parent? Like, that's not ideal.
No,
it really isn't. And I've like, even though that's not the main reason for me, my biggest sort of problem is the one you highlighted, AJ, where you were saying about they're not focusing the games.
Yes.
And that's my issue with it.
They're really unclear of who they're pointing at. And they, in order to get more sales, at this point, it's not just about attracting new people into the gaming space, younger or older gamers in. It's also about borrowing gamers from other platforms.
Yes, yeah.
You have to persuade some PlayStation players, some PC players in.
Yeah.
And they do have some good ideas on how to do that. But in order to do that, they do have to focus at specific types of players.
Yeah.
We are really good at this type of game. Now, Xbox, until recently, were kind of known for their live service, multiplayer, online game. That's it may be inaccurate, but that's how the messaging came across. PlayStation is for single player narrative games. Xbox is for multiplayer experiences.
Yeah, like your Halo and Forza Online and all those kind of experiences.
And if that were true, then go all out on it.
Yeah.
And focus in it and double down on it.
Yeah.
But it felt like they went that way, realised that it was less successful, and then kind of done an about turn, done almost like a Xbox 180. and then have tried to introduce single player narrative games and now trying to market that space. Now they're buying developers of those types of games.
Yeah.
And it's this confusing mixed messaging.
Yeah, it's not clear enough.
Real problem.
It's not clear enough. I think that's what they need to do is clear it up.
Yeah.
For the next, I mean, they've already said that they're looking at ending this sort of generation early.
Yes.
And I think that's good.
Yeah.
Because they might be able to start fresh with their new ideas, with all these new companies behind them that they've bought up, all these different publishers and developers and stuff. I think that would be a good idea to start fresh.
Yeah.
Get rid of this, drop the stupid naming system, get it like really nailed in, get your sort of point across, get your marketing and everything really concise.
Tight.
Yeah. Like tighten it all up and make sure everyone knows what it is.
Starts with the simple things. Everyone needs to know what it is.
Yeah.
The name has to be right.
Yeah.
Xbox Series X would suggest that it's one of the last Xboxes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's the fifth PlayStation.
Yeah.
There could be
it's the best
infinite
one.
number.
Yeah.
We could have PlayStation 29.
Yeah.
If they had just
really
made
easy to follow.
Really easy to follow. So they're in. It's difficult for them now because they're in it and they're all along this journey.
Yeah, but they can start again.
They could.
Because none of the names make sense.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got... The only one that made sense was the first one.
Yeah.
The Xbox.
If they took Xbox and made Xbox the brand.
Yes.
So you have the Xbox... I don't know. I'm going to come up with a name. Xbox Gemini 1.
Yeah.
That's actually quite good.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to use that, Phil, how much we cost? It's 5%?
Just something like that,
5%.
Yeah.
And then that's the name of... Whatever they name it, but like the console's called something different from Xbox. Xbox is the brand.
Yeah. It's the Xbox something.
Yes, Xbox something 1, 2. We start again.
Or even series. It should have been the Xbox Series 1. The Xbox Series 2, the 3, the 4, and so on,
It's the really simple things that work. That's why PlayStation
have nailed it.
Nailed it.
They really have, because, I mean, ever since the 90s when they started, it ain't changed.
No.
Like, everyone, like, PlayStation's a household name.
Yes.
Like, everyone knows what a PlayStation is, just like everyone calls everything a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of level now. So to have a numerical system, it's just obvious. Even your granddad could like understand, oh look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the newest one.
Yes.
You know? So with the Xbox, it is just really confusing, especially with the tie-over release of like having an old console there and then a new one. Imagine again being a parent, going in and being Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, What?
Was this just the
Like, you would just turn around. You wouldn't even ask someone. And that's the point, is most people wouldn't even go to a sales rep. They would just look at that and go, that's confusing. Oh, yeah, that's
it
right.
says on the case, PS5.
Yeah,
okay,
that's the new one. Yeah, that one.
I think along with the struggles, they're like historic failures of messaging. They also have a problem of history as well. Like Nintendo, and then to a slightly lesser extent, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Have the advantage of years.
Yeah. They've been out longer. Yeah.
PlayStation have the advantage of what, 5-6 years on Xbox?
Yeah, at least. What was it? 94, 5? The PlayStation came out?
It was 94. So maybe.
Yeah.
When was Xbox?
I think
original.
I want to say 2001, but it might be 2000 or 99. I'm not sure.
I think it was. Yeah, it was in the 2000s. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it was either 2000 or 2001, something like that.
So they had a huge head start. They had a whole generation head start.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Of nailing down the place in the market that Sega vacated, essentially.
Yeah.
And truthfully, if we're honest, Xbox and PlayStation are catering for the same market.
Yes, they are. But the other thing as well, looking back at the starts, Sony was already a dominating hardware manufacturer.
Yes.
So they'd already been making hi-fis, TVs, VCR players, like everything, discs,
compact discs.
Yeah, they were like the head of the music, like
mini discs.
Yeah, everything hardware was Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Betamax.
Yeah, just everything. The Walkman.
Walkman.
Yes, there we go.
You've seen the prices of Walkmans now?
No.
Dude, go on eBay and look for Walkmans. Really? It's insane.
Oh, wow.
They're like hundreds.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have to dig my old one out.
Have you kept it?
Probably, yeah.
It'd be worth some money.
Everything. It's terrible.
You keep everything?
Yeah, everything.
Jesus.
No, I keep a lot of stuff. But yeah, so they were already like these freaking monoliths, in hardware.
Yeah.
Microsoft wasn't.
No.
Microsoft was software.
Yeah. Windows.
They didn't even build computers. They just gave the software, you bought a bit of software. So for them to come out with Xbox must have been quite a challenge for them, even though they were a massive company already. It wasn't what they're used to doing.
Yeah.
They didn't have everyone knew what Sony was, because you saw it everywhere, the best TVs, the best this, the best that. People knew Microsoft, but they didn't know any hardware. Your average Joe didn't see a Microsoft TV. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like not only did they miss a generation, but they also didn't have that hardware behind them for many years beforehand, all through the AAEs and everything else.
I think what the sad thing is that with the lack of Xbox players, there's the vast amount of gamers are missing out on some really cool things that Xbox offers.
Absolutely. I mean, go on.
I was going to say the primary one is the fact that the Xbox Series X is such a powerful machine.
It's a proper powerhouse. It really is. It's like for the price now, it is ridiculous how well these systems
You couldn't build a gaming PC for the price of the Xbox Series X of a similar performance.
No. Like, you could get close.
Yeah.
You could, but it's not going to be as stable.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to play games as easily, because that's the whole point of a games console, is convenience.
No tweaking.
No tweaking. Playing. You just go. And that is the beauty of it. You just pop the game in and it's going to run.
Yeah.
With a PC, there's 100 billion different configurations. You're always going to run into a problem, whether that's a driver problem or a graphics setting problem or whatever.
Every time I turn the PC onto stream, every time I have to fix something.
Yeah.
Or
something always
reset
just
something.
randomly breaks.
Why is that turned off?
Yes.
Just felt like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I need to install a new driver. Why?
Yeah.
Well, it was working yesterday.
Yeah. And that's the thing with PCs, is there's so many different parts and configurations.
Yeah.
Every single PC needs to be tweaked.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you're into that, but most people just want to go beep on. Done. And to be fair, it breaks your immersion when you have to be messing around, even to the point where Steam Deck is like my number one. I love it. But you still have to do that on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And I spent so long obsessing over settings when I could have been playing the game. Whereas even with the Switch, it might look like a potato, but I know it's going to look like a potato. I'm having fun. I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
Not sat in the menu testing it, doing like a frame rate test. Going, no, that's too blurry. Go back.
Too much battery life.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of faffery, and that's the thing with Xbox. For both of us, we ignored, because I'm like, well, I've got a PS5, I've got a Switch, and I've got a really high-end gaming rig.
Don't need to worry about.
I don't need an Xbox, you know. And I've always had that mentality, because in the past, PC gaming was towering above console.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I've got a PC. I just play whatever, you know, really. Whereas now, like we were saying, you can't really build a system for the same kind of price. These games consoles are pretty much better than like PC equivalents. Does that make sense? So they are now,
as an overall offering.
As an overall offering, like they've caught up with PC, you know, and for the price point, you are going to have a much better experience dropping that money on an Xbox or a PlayStation than building a PC. Whereas before, you'd always get a massive jump in performance by getting a PC, even if it was a budget one. Now the lines are blurring, you know, because these consoles are just PCs.
It's an incredibly powerful machine that people are missing out on. More powerful than the PlayStation in many ways as a processing.
Yeah, it is.
Computer.
Yeah, it's more powerful. Yeah.
Things like really simple things. It sounds really stupid. Quick resume.
That is one of the biggest things ever, even coming from PC.
Yeah,
like
it's mind blowing.
It's mind blowing because it's not just one game. You can have freaking infinite amount.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I can sit down and just be like, boop, and it's
back
done
to the exact place you were.
You're loaded.
Yeah.
Whereas on PC or PlayStation, you've got to sit there and load the freaking thing up from ground zero. You know, and that's the thing with turning on the Xbox. Even just turning it on, it's on. If you choose the high power mode that puts it in like a sleep state, it's far quicker than even the fastest NVMe drive you can have in a PC.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't load a game as quick as you can with this quick resume. It's amazing. And that's what I was missing out on massively when I finally went and got an Xbox Series X. I was like, oh, I wish I did this before.
Yes.
You know, like I was so wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. It's so good. But people don't realize, and we didn't
realize.
And because we didn't, and we're in this industry, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So average Joe probably has no idea.
No idea. And one of the ones that I get the most hate for, and I'm keeping a little tally chart of the things I say that annoy people on the internet.
Oh, everything I say annoys people.
Yeah, so please keep them coming. I really enjoy it. Controller life.
Oh my days! But this is factual. It's not even like, it's not even subjective. It's not even opinionated.
The PlayStation controller sucks.
It does, even with the update. So
still sucks.
The DualSense, I'd say, is 3 hours.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean,
4 at a push.
I've noticed it depends on what you're doing. If the game you're playing uses the internal speaker, if you've still got that switched on, if it uses the adaptive triggers,
and the haptic
feedback, if it uses that, moments where it uses that, it will destroy the battery life. You're getting down to like 2-3 hours.
Oh yeah, easy.
If those things aren't active, then you're like 5, maybe 6, most 6.
That's BS.
I think my average is 3.
Yeah, I would say my average is 3.
And people have said, oh, you just have a dud controller. I have 3 DualSense controllers.
Yeah.
3. Yeah. And they're all the same.
We've got 2, and it's the same.
The same.
When Christina was playing Red Dead, she was rotating the controllers. On an Xbox controller,
40 hours?
You put 2 AA batteries in it.
Yeah.
40 hours.
Okay. You don't want to use AA batteries because that's what some people complain about. Then get the rechargeable pack.
Yeah.
Put them in. Or buy rechargeable batteries.
I've got rechargeable batteries and the rechargeable pack.
40 hours.
40 hours.
2 AA batteries.
Yeah.
40. 40.
Yeah.
That means my average playtime is like 3 to 4 hours if I've got a whole evening free.
Yeah. You got like a month worth of battery life.
Exactly. It's just like, honestly, the difference is night and day. I don't know if the controllers side by side are objectively better or worse than each other apart from that.
Yeah, I mean, they offer different things.
They offer different things. I do love the ergonomics of the DualSense controller, but when you play the Xbox controller for a while, you start to love that more, and then when you go back, it's weird.
Yeah, they're both unique. You know, they're both good in their own right. I actually don't dislike either of them.
I haven't found a good use for the adaptive triggers or haptic feedback yet.
I feel like the DualSense is the next generation controller, because it is.
Yeah.
You know, like it's got those features, but in reality, most of the time I turn them off.
I don't know. I haven't found.
It annoys me.
My mind's really open to it, but I'm yet to find a good feature apart from like weird quick time events in games. So you're like, oh, okay,
the only thing that I
trigger.
Actually loved was Astro's Playroom.
Amazing.
That was it. And that was just a controller demo.
And that was mind blowing. So the controller battery life is one thing that people are definitely missing out on. I think I've saved it until near the end of what's being missed out on.
Yeah.
Game Pass.
Oh, of course. This is the number one reason to have an Xbox.
I've got a hot take at the end of this though. I think it might be one of the reasons it fails as well.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Okay.
It's the best thing they have to offer, but I also think it's the thing's hamstringing the most.
Yeah, maybe.
But
you can't deny what they're doing. Like,
it's incredible
with Game Pass. Like,
it's incredible.
It's insane, and the fact that they've just recently come out and cleared the air of no, we're not just becoming a publisher.
Yeah,
you know, we're staying on hardware.
Yeah,
and Game Pass is only on Xbox. That was a big.
Yeah,
like I loved that they did that.
Yeah,
we needed to hear that. Like you're staying around, and you're only going to get Game Pass on Xbox or PC.
Yes,
but you know, not on Switch or PS5.
Yeah, it's an incredible offering, and again, for the people that are negative about it, you've not experienced it. That's got to be it, because I didn't even really consider its existence until I bought an Xbox, and then I got it, and I was like,
yeah, same.
Oh wow, actually, this is something special.
It's ridiculous.
It's not just for the state it's in now; it's for the fact that every single game they're developing, they're saying Xbox Game Pass day one, Game Pass. Every single game they're announcing,
day one,
going. It's the future.
Yeah, and this is new.
Yes.
Because before, stuff would only come to Game Pass after time.
Yes.
You know, it was kind of like PlayStation Plus.
It's exactly
where
the
they
same.
give you the crap out of the garbage like once a month.
Or they'd annoy you with giving you a game that you bought when it launched.
Like, a month ago.
Oh,
yeah,
I paid
cheers, guys.
for that.
Yeah, cheers, you know. And that sucks. Yeah. And if you want to actually access some of the great backwards compatible titles on the PlayStation, I'll just pay like £100 a month. It's fine. It's like, no,
it's the platinum range.
Yeah, it's like, nah, I'm alright.
I just want to just have a razz on an old game.
Yeah.
I know we're not backwards compatible.
No,
but guess what is?
Yeah,
Xbox Series X.
Yes.
One of the Discord members, one of the channel members on the podcast, she was talking about her love for going into secondhand game stores, CEX.
Yes.
Bought the whole range of Halo games.
Yeah.
Laughing about the fact that when the Red Dead remaster came out on PlayStation 4 last year,
yes,
and it was a £40 purchase.
Yep, full price.
That you could buy it off the Xbox store for £10.
Yeah.
Or you go into your local CX and it was like £5.
Yeah, just buy it, pick it up.
Buy the. Would it have been an Xbox 360 game?
Yeah. And it would download the most modern version, 4K 60 or whatever it was.
The fact that they've stood by backwards compatibility and they have made a pledge to carry on standing by it going forward, I was really surprised at that.
I was too. I was thinking that the next generation would be digital only.
Yeah.
And I think there will be that as an option. I think they're going to do away with the S.
I hope they do. I think it's their biggest problem.
I think they need one system and rally behind it. Even if the sales are lower, I think you'll end up having a bigger following.
Yeah.
And the players will have a better time.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love the S and entries for people, you are getting a lesser experience.
Much lesser.
And some people will think that's just what Xbox is. And they won't even realise that they're playing on the less powerful system.
I will say, though, my experience of the S wasn't overly negative.
No.
I mean, in its defence, to give some balance to that, I thought Starfield performed really well.
Yeah.
But then Starfield isn't exactly the most graphically demanding game, is it?
No, and it is Bugthesta, so...
Yeah, I had it crashed. I had some crashes.
Yeah, I had some freezes on the Series X, you know.
Yeah,
but I still think they need to do what we've hypothesized previously, which is do a leading console.
Yeah, one version. Maybe a digital only alongside it, but just one name.
Yeah. Just one thing, just like the PS5.
Yes.
Here's your physical, your digital, and a handheld.
Handheld would be
That's
amazing.
What they need to do. Game Pass on handheld.
And I would say one of the goes against the things we talk about. Okay, goes against the ethos of Game Pass and our ideal, which is you can play any game anywhere, would be the ideal.
Yeah, which is their tagline.
I think that's one of the problems. what have they got that you can't get elsewhere?
Yeah.
That's a real struggle.
Yeah.
Because if they are going to have to persuade some PlayStation players to come over to get those sales figures up, they have to persuade them with games. That's ultimately how you do it.
Yeah.
It's always you make the decisions on games. If you're going to get some of them over, you have to offer them something. The other group of players that we've not talked about that could come over are some of the PC players. Maybe as PC players get a bit older, like yourself, as you went from having a busier life, you're like, do you know what? I can't be bothered to keep setting this PC up. I just want something more convenient.
Yeah. That's when I switched to the Xbox.
That's a natural progression for a lot of people.
Yep.
You're going to be less inclined to switch if you're just playing the same games that you can already get on your PC because you've got Game Pass on your PC.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're now going to make a decision, do I buy a PlayStation or an Xbox? Well, I can get stuff I can't get anywhere else on the PlayStation. Or I can keep my PC and play the same Microsoft games. If there's nothing exclusive to Xbox.
Yes, I get you, yeah. But there's Indiana Jones.
Game Pass. You can play it on the PC.
True.
So you're less likely to persuade those PC players over.
Yeah, I just totally let that fly over my head then.
The fact that they're pretty au fait with Steam Deck being able to technically play Game Pass, and some of the PC handhelds playing Game Pass on it.
The Windows-based ones, absolutely.
I get why, and I appreciate it as being someone who wants to be able to play anything anyway, but from their cold-hearted marketing perspective, what are they offering on Microsoft that you can't get anywhere else?
Yeah, no, I get you. I think because with this, they are trying to incorporate the Play Anywhere on anything, cross-save, cross-platform between PC.
Yes.
Like, that's them. Ignore that. They are purely trying to target Nintendo and PlayStation fans.
Yeah.
They've got the PC under the belt.
Yeah.
They don't need the hardware sales, I suppose, from the PC players, because they know that the PC elite has sat there with like a $4,000 rig. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter unless you're lazy like me and just want a system in the living room that you can just go beep. Oh, sweet. And that is just pure laziness, you know? I don't think they're really targeting that. I mean, again, if they did a handheld, maybe some of the PC players would buy the Xbox handheld.
Yeah.
Because if you got Game Pass on PC and you mainly play Game Pass games, imagine just having a handheld. I know as a PC player, you absolutely could just go out and buy a Windows handheld. They're expensive. You're looking at like 800 quid. Imagine a 400 quid Xbox handheld with Game Pass on it. That's half the price.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got the saving of Game Pass of paying £8-10 a month, whatever. Well, it's a bit more for Ultimate.
They're in a tricky position with that market, though, I'd say, just from a hardware sales perspective, not from an overall player base. But if you're a PC player now, you don't have an Xbox, so you can already play most of the games via Game Pass.
Yeah.
Now you want a handheld experience, so you can play it in your lounge, not on your PC, or in your bedroom, or on the go.
Yeah.
Are you buying the Xbox handheld or the Steam Deck?
The Xbox handheld.
You're going to buy over the Steam Deck?
Yeah, because if you're invested in the Xbox Game Pass, you can't play Game Pass on the Steam Deck without a lot of faffing around, and it's not native.
Yes.
You know, you have to stream. So effectively, the Steam Deck is the PlayStation Portal for Game Pass. You can only
stream.
You can only stream it
natively.
You can't natively download it.
Oh.
You have to, because I've done this, and it's great. Like, I love that you can do it, but it's not overly practical. Is you have to basically change a browser into only loading up Game Pass.
So in order for the Steam Deck, in order for a Microsoft handheld to be more attractive to Steam Deck in that situation, Game Pass has to have
native.
Game Pass has to have a lot more on it.
Yeah.
To offer the player over what they would have on their Steam library. Do you know what I mean? If it's one or the other.
Yes.
Because currently...
I get you. Yeah.
Currently, there are some good games on there, but it's not a huge amount.
No, but you are getting access to 500 games for £10 a month, let's say.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to on Steam, unless you're a veteran like me and you've got a backlog of masses of games, then you've probably got to buy a lot of these. And again, on Game Pass, Starfield's on there. on Steam, you got to pay full price for that.
Yeah, Lies of P's on there.
Lies of P is on there. You got to pay for it on Steam.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you could just buy a handheld from Xbox that was 400 quid versus an 800 quid ROG Ally, you've just saved £400. That's 50% off. Plus £8 a month for your games. You've just saved hundreds of pounds on the games by not having to buy them on your Steam library. And with an Xbox handheld, it would be native. It would download and run it.
Yeah, of course.
So you could be in a cave somewhere with no Wi-Fi and play it. Whereas on the Steam Deck, you need to have like satellite internet to be able to stream it.
But even the concept is a fantasy because it's not even. It's just a rumor.
No, It's just what we would want. But I do think that would be the move.
It'd be a great
for
move.
them, like release the high-end Xbox, release a handheld, and you're winning.
Regardless of the topic of conversation, which is why does Xbox not sell, the future for Xbox and Microsoft in gaming is really bright.
I think it's really positive.
Really positive. Of the things we heard them talk about at the Business Direct a few weeks back, the kind of general trajectory that they're following is really exciting. And I guess the kind of bigger question is, does it matter that it doesn't sell to them as much?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I think
is that important to their business?
Their number one thing is Game Pass subscribers.
I think so.
It is. It totally is. I really think it is. And I think the hardware is just like next to that.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that. They are laying the foundation of the future.
I think
I believe.
I'm pretty sure most games consoles lose money in their sales.
That's what I've heard.
That they're basically a lost lead for you to buy the software afterwards, buy the games, and that they cut that PlayStation will make from selling a game. So I'm pretty sure that selling less units isn't necessarily in of itself a bad thing if you've got a higher percentage of subscribers to your game service.
I do think, again, if they did do a handheld, some people would just buy that.
Yeah.
So you'd end up kicking into the like Switch market and stuff like that. Like people that like dedicated handhelds like me.
Yeah.
And they won't even bother with the home console, but they'd buy a handheld, and then that's already boosted your Game Pass.
I would
subscriber count.
I would 100%.
Yeah. I totally
definitely would. I don't know. Let me know. It's all a blur now.
Don't worry, I just said something really stupid earlier, but I was like, I can't even remember what I said, but it didn't make any sense.
I didn't even pick you up on it.
No, you did.
I did.
You did. So you don't even remember.
What are we talking about again?
Talking about Nintendo being bought out by Xbox.
Wow, by Elon Musk?
Yes.
No way.
He's got a new games console with Soulja Boy.
Who's Soulja Boy?
Do you not remember that guy? No. It's some rapper guy that brought out some console that was just like a cracked like version of some like. Do you know what I mean? It was so weird. Yeah.
There we go. It's like ASAP. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments below. Why doesn't Xbox sell as much as PlayStation, and does it even matter, to be fair to them? Does it even matter to them? Or does it matter to you? Do you care?
What do you think the future is for Xbox? Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Before you go anywhere, if you're listening on podcasts, please do rate the show. 5 stars, obviously.
Oh, yes.
If you're on YouTube, there is the memberships.
Oh, yes.
You get to watch these videos early.
You do.
You also get to join us for the members-only shows.
Discord as well.
And there's the Discord for all 128KB members across 128KB podcasts. And if you're on the podcast listening, you can actually go to our website, 128kb.co.uk, and there's a thing there.
Yes.
Join the Discord, and come and say hello. I think on PlayStation, sorry. On YouTube, it's like 99p.
On PlayStation, we are 99p, yeah. We've got our own game.
Oh, that would be amazing.
The 128KB game. Only on PlayStation, though, not on Xbox.
For 99p?
Yeah.
And before you go anywhere, why not watch one of the other videos from us? They're slapped between our faces.
They might be, yes.
Like a nice sandwich of 128KB-ness.
I like sandwiches.
Added ketchup.
Yes.
So, until then,
yep.
Bye.
Bye.